Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rother011 here in a video series discussing the plane of Tasmirah. The purpose of these video series is to go on and hopefully enhance your experience on my gaming tables. Now we got a lot to cover, so let's dive in. The events that brought an end to an era of plenty and peace began with the rise of an underground cult. Unnamed and unseen for a decade, the machinations of schemes operated and uninterrupted. Allegiances between orderless tribes forged, lost and forbidden magic uncovered, and a damning union of dragon and man, all occurred under the noses of the old kingdoms. During a misty dawn, the first assault was launched against the southern kingdoms by hordes of goblinoids, giants, and orcs. Simultaneously, the great chromatic worms laid waste to the east, wiping entire villages off the map. The kingdom's resistances only delayed the inevitable. The war, infamously called the Tasmirah Cataclysm, ended in mere months, the last standing kingdom being sucked into a planar tear. Since the end of the war, survivors were either enslaved or sacrificed. Those who were enslaved were usually young girls or women. Men and boys either thrown into gladiatorial fights or sent to work in mines or distilleries, while the females were sacrificed to dark gods, the worms, then called the Chromatica Omega, or forced to copulate with either their own kind or their masters. As the second century was closing, tensions between the Chromatica Omega rose. Greed, discontent, and envy over sacrifices and territory gave rise for small raids and disputes against each other. These insignificant conflicts would soon grow to another all-out war. Slaves, taking any chance they could, would escape to the underground or untouched wilderness, keeping out of the crossfire. In the wake of this terrible confrontation left carcasses of what remained of the Chromatica Omega, as well as some of their underlings. The settled dust revealed, however, not all things were safe. Many ogres, orcs, and their allies remained, scrapping for resources and control over the madness. Along with creatures long thought mythical, the survivors and their assumed allies, over a span of a few short years, reclaimed Tasmirah. It would be many years, roughly 150, before the liberated races could establish themselves towns, kingdoms, etc. The survivors, the humans, dwarves, and elves, populated quickly, sharing the land with each other and their neighbors. New technology, along with new faiths, were also wrought. From the darkness, the dawn rose quite brilliantly. All was not completely well, for many treasures, races, and other creatures, to the knowledge of the other races, have been destroyed in the wake of the cataclysm. The halfling, an already reclusive race, was pulled from hiding and suffered worse than any other. Not even their pottery remains. The metallic dragons, the spearhead of the world's resistance, were wiped out with almost no effort. Some even have been known to flee to another plane in the twilight of the war. Knowledge of old gods, good and evil, ancient ruins, treasures, temples, all of it now ash and dust. Today, many of those survivors have passed on, but their memories now live in the tomes of their descendants, and great care is taken to prevent this catastrophe from ever happening again.